Greetings, COM 4310. Before we embark upon our discussion of Chapter 4 Systems Theory, I have a few announcements that I would like to share with you all regarding the class. Reminder number 1. Your second video diary entry is due this Sunday, February 14th by 11:30 p.m. In my email to the class on Friday, I pointed out that you all will now post your 7 to 9 minute video diary entry into your small video diary discussion groups. You can locate this group on the left side of the Blackboard panel. From this point forward, you will post your video diary entries number 2, number 3, and number 4 in your respective group. And you will use the discussion board tool to post your video diary entries and your minimum 100 words per written responses in this group. I've already began the initial postings in each of these groups. So if you are inside of the video diary and you do not see where I have began your thread, you're in the wrong place. You will need to make sure that you go to the discussion board tool inside of your video diary small group. The list of questions are available inside of this post that I've started for you, as well inside of the video diary folder. It is my hope that this smaller community will allow for a more engaged discussion to this assignment. It is also my hope that everyone has had an opportunity to review their grades from the first video diary posting. Some of you will look and say, well, Dr. Murray, I posted my responses to my 4 classmates. However, if your response was not at minimum 100 words to your classmates, you did not receive the full 5 points. Or if you did not post your video diary to include all of the questions from video diary entry number 1, you did not receive full credit. So make sure you go through and you review all of the questions and you address them in your second video diary entry. Thinking about the 7 to 9 minute time span that you have for your initial video posting. Okay, reminder number 2. Your short paper is due in 20 days or on February 28th at 11:30 p.m. You must take your paper to the Writing Center on campus to have someone review your document before you can submit it. I have provided a link to the Writing Center in the Helpful Hints folder located on Blackboard. If you say, Dr. Murray, I'm never on campus, guess what? The Writing Center is able to help you virtually. You can share your computer screen, you can send your paper in, but the Writing Center is here to help students whether or not you guys are physically on campus or if you cannot make your way to campus. Once you have taken your completed paper to the Writing Center, you can request from them a document that will indicate it that you submitted your paper to them. You work with them through like the issues of grammar and style. They have helped you address the manner in which your paper does or does not answer the questions at hand. And they will provide you with this document that you will therefore submit to me on Blackboard under the assignment tab, Writing Center Verification. So, when you click on the short paper folder, at the top you will see short paper number 1. And you can click on that to submit your short paper. Right below that, you will see an assignment tab that says Writing Center Verification. This is where you must submit your piece of paper from the Writing Center that indicates that you have indeed been to them so that they can work through your paper. I will not grade any short papers that have not been to the Writing Center. So if you say, oh, Dr. Murray, I went to the Writing Center, however, I forgot to upload my documentation indicating that I was there, I'm still not going to grade your paper. I want to make sure that when you all submit your paper to me, you've had multiple people to review your short paper. Something else I want you guys to think about. Another reason why I've created these video diary groups, you can also use this group as a form of community to discuss your short paper as well as to have other individuals look at your paper, time permitting. So be sure to utilize these groups, your video diary groups, in multiple ways. You can also reach out to those group members to discuss your final projects, which we'll talk about in a few weeks, to discuss course content. Use all of your resources for this course as best as you can. Now, let's turn our attention to Chapter 4. Last week, you all had the opportunity to explore the humanistic theories of organizations. What is the greatest difference between the humanistic theories and the classical theories? We know that classical theories have focused on the task of the organization, whereas humanistic theories focus on people. Classical and humanistic theories prescribe organizational behavior and organizational structure and managerial practice from this idea of what? The machine. When we think of factories, we understand the way that classical theories worked and how they took out the human side of the organization. When we think about this idea of systems theory, or Chapter 4, where we're on this week, this theory provides more so of an analytical framework for viewing organizations in terms of how do we describe and explain the way that an organization works. Or if we want to look for a metaphor like the machine, we can think of the systems as an organism. When you are reviewing your PowerPoint slides that accompany your chapter readings, be sure to take a moment and review the open systems theory principle. As you are viewing the open system theories principle, you will notice a video embedded in this PowerPoint slide. After watching the video, answer this question. What makes BMW the ultimate driving machine? How does this analogy relate to the theories that we've discussed over the last 2 weeks? Humanistic theories, classical theories, and how does this help you to understand the systems approach? Lastly, what role does communication play in systems? There's also another video embedded in your PowerPoint slides that talks about CVS. And I want you guys to tell me, what do you learn from CVS that helps you understand communication in the system perspective? At the bottom of this announcement page, I'm going to give you guys a few key notes to think about as you're going through reading your chapter and reviewing your PowerPoint slides to gauge a better understanding of the system's perspective. So, as a final recap, I want you guys to remember that your short papers are coming up due on February 28th at 11:30 p.m. and that you must go to the Writing Center before submitting this document. There is a tab that will say Writing Center Verification that you will need to submit your paper, and then you can submit your short paper via the short paper tab. The more important deadline that's coming up is this Sunday, and your video diary is due. So make sure that you adhere to the time limit of your video diary. And remember, you are only posting for credit in your newly formed video diary small groups. If there are any questions about any of this material, about any of these announcements, please feel free to send me an email or to call or visit me in my office. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and enjoy studying systems theory. All the best, Dr. Murray.